not going to cancel it out just yet. I still see that being a possibility.
It could be a possibility, but the Syndra ban over to the side of FindDog, they really are trying to find out like picks that have been played over the past day or two. Because Syndra definitely came out yesterday. I believe it was the it might have been the first series. It definitely wasn't the second series. Syndra coming through towards the latter part of the series there. I believe it was
the Sandra as well.
Yeah. The Sandra did come through as well. I mean, that definitely was kind of like for the Nocturne and whatnot, but still definitely didn't show what it needed to. But the Yasuo been banned here as well. Getting rid of the Darius, looking for that kind of top side of the map for FindDog because they need a side lane here.
This draft is definitely going to round out very interesting here because for the side of Vapo, they really need some AP damage from somewhere. So I really like the bans of the Syndra and the Lissandra being taken away. Vi not being picked up. This might be Lilia again going into the lane, going into one of the solo lanes. We saw this yesterday as well. Lilia being played in one of the solo lanes, being very, very powerful and still having a big impact during team fights, and taking away that Vi as well, having that lockdown with the likes of the Blitzcrank Cook after that as well. Really nice pickup here for FindDog. But I mean, they need to round out this comp with something. I feel like it has to be a Ziggs or an Orianna. Maybe Zoe as well. Okay, it's going to be the Zoe, which she has a pretty nice time against the enemy team comp. There is a lot of mobility that can dodge away from these bubbles, but there isn't that many tanks, which Zoe can struggle with. Which makes me feel like it's going to be, it actually is going to be Jarvan support, and this is going to be an AD carry now. But what do you have left in terms of AD carries to even pick from? Senna? What? Oh, okay. Last minute swap there to Lucian.
Yeah,
I was a little bit worried now. I was like, what, Senna? Like, we're getting a Senna Jarvan lane, but it's going to be Jarvan support. First time that we've seen it in competitive, as I mentioned. It's a popular pick at the moment in solo queue, and it's definitely very popular with some of the high elo players with how much lockdown you have and how much survivability you have, especially with the ultimate. Sion, final pick here for FindDog. Oh, we are going down to the wire here in terms of picks, and this is looking very, very interesting. So yeah, Lilia and Sion in the solo lanes against Zoe and Volibear. If Lilia is against the Zoe, then Lilia's definitely going to have a very difficult time to try and stop the poke in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, they both got like the Drowsy as well. I mean, that could definitely play a big part into trying to get the catch-offs for both of these teams. But like you were saying there, the Zed being probably the potential here to try and get the catch-off for the Vi. Obviously trying to lock down that slippery hero is probably what they're going to be looking for the side of FindDog. Or they might even try and get the Lucian down as well, right? Because, I mean, you definitely don't want Lucian getting all those items too early on because he can obviously pack a punch with that damage as well. But yeah, overall, obviously, these drafts are definitely looking more towards the kind of like the not so stronger side of things. They do have components like the Volibear. Obviously, the Zed as well can be quite decent. But then over to the other side, the likes the Scions actually come through here as well is very interesting. Obviously, he can get across the rift very quick with that ultimate as well.
Yeah, I think they needed a frontline tank as well. They needed some sort of tank up in the top side, and Sion is pretty good at stopping against the likes of the Zoe. You know, we saw yesterday Dr. Mundo being picked as a very strong tank to try and shut down the Zoe. Sion can work in a very similar manner as well. Maybe not as well as Dr. Mundo, but can still work in the same way as trying to block some of the Zoe bubbles, block some of the Zoe poke down as well, and try and shut it all down. But in general, again, a very interesting draft for both sides. I'm really curious to see this Lucian Jarvan combo come on through. Again, the first time we've seen Jarvan support in competitive. It seems like the Observer might have to do a little bit of shifting around here with the lanes, because the bottom is you know, a little bit off with the support's not being the same one. Jungle is completely no idea what happened to FindDog's order here with you know, top jungle, mid and duo lane. It's just all over the place in this one. There you go, it's happened already.
There we go. They're switching it around. They got the head screwed on. It's all good.
One up.
Saved.
Vi, one up.
Yep. One up. Okay.
No. Doesn't see it. Doesn't see it. It's a little bit delayed as well, because we have to, of course, make sure that the stream is in a delay, so there's no sort of competitive integrity and there's no sort of stream sniping or anything happening. There we go. It came on through. The observers know best. The observers are the real MVPs, coming in clutch there, moving around the champions so we can actually see the goal difference. But looks like Lilia is going to be going up against this Volibear. And Zoe is going to be, actually, no, Lucian is going to go up against the Lilia. So they're using a Lucian as more of a solo lane. And Zoe, the mage, is going to be used in this duo lane.
Yeah, I mean, the poke potential for obviously Lilo and obviously being able to try and keep safe away from the Blitzcrank, it makes sense. Yes, Lucian has the dash as well, but you can kind of make the wrong decision. You can make dash into the grapple hook as well. It all depends on how sort of like pressurized you feel. But yeah, it's definitely going to be Lilo here on the Zoe, and it kind of works.
I think Lucian does really well against the Lilia as well. Definitely this very early aggressive champion that, you know, Lilia doesn't want to deal with. Lilia is a champion that kind of just wants to sit in lane, farm up, clear through minion waves. It looks like it's a little bit of action down in the bot lane at the moment, but it looks like we're not missing out on too much. And Lucian's a champion who wants to play super aggressive, you know, champion that has one of the strongest passives in the game, the double auto attacks, the extra burst damage that can come on through here. Jarvan even, Jarvan I think tried to cancel the back there for Lilia, but wasn't able to in the end. But you can see Lilia already getting the play to steel caps to start things off to try and negate some of the damage from that Lucian.
Yeah, for now, obviously no kills on the board just yet. Oh, there we go. Just as I said it, Susanoo gets taken down. First blood going over to Fine Dog. This is where we kind of see the key for Vi. And obviously using the flash to try and get out of that grapple hook was going to be enough. The Drowsy is going to stop Nakaruru from trying to pass any further into that bot side of the map as well.
Yeah, really well played again from the Blitzcrank, kind of same as what he was doing yesterday. Again, using this dual lane, mid lane to your advantage, rotating around the map, trying to get advantages inside lane. He actually catches out the Jarvan, knowing that Jarvan didn't have any way of escaping. The hook into the chain CC, the knock up from the Blitzcrank, and the Vi afterwards makes it very, very difficult for the Jarvan to escape, and that's a great first blood for Fine Dog.
Yeah, great first blood for Fine Dog. I mean, it does put them ever so slightly ahead in terms of the resources, which at this point is not sort of like too night and day for both of these teams right now. But definitely, like I said, not much obviously going on in terms of the kills right now. I feel like because it's Vapo's game point potentially here, that Fine Dog have to play this a little bit more kind of like close to their hearts.
In terms of the goal lead at the moment, nothing too crazy. Oh, there's fights on both fronts at the moment. It looks like Vapo looking for a tower dive in the top side. They do get the tower dive into the top side. Very nice play there from the Zed. I believe Zoe got caught out with the hook in mid lane, if I'm not mistaken, but I think was able to survive anyway. So big tower dive play, and this is really the advantages of having that Volibear in a side lane. If the jungler comes up the top side, if you're playing a weak laner, like Sion, for example, that can't survive these tower dives, that Volibear ultimate really comes in handy to stop that tower from doing any damage.
Yeah, it's a good way of obviously aggroing the turret right now, and yeah, it works. It's definitely put a lot of pressure onto the top side of the map for Fine Dog. They need to make sure that they are trying to neutralize this one. As you can see here, Faker Apo is just making sure that the minion waves are just crashing naturally. They're not trying to lose too much in this part of the game because obviously neutral objectives do come up. The grapple does actually land onto Lilo for now, but is it going to be enough here for Invali to actually come through with the Kaiser to do enough damage? Probably not just yet. She only has obviously the BF sword being built here for Kaiser just for now.
And I have to call out as well, Vapo doing very, very well with these lane assignments at the moment. It's actually Fine Dog that are looking to try and swap the lanes every single time. They try and put the Lilia in the top lane to try and match against the Volibear. They try and put Sion down into the bot lane, but every single time that this happens, Vapo go back to base, they reset, they push their lanes, and they make sure that this Lucian is going up against this Lilia because it has a much easier matchup. These matchups with Vapo are definitely a lot easier than, you know, if it was the other way around. If Lucian was going up against the Sion, for example, you know, Lucian can't do anything in this early game. Another hook onto the Zoe, but I'm not too sure if that's exactly what he wants because the stone plate enchant here actually comes in handy, but they're diving all the way through underneath the tower. Lilo survives actually on 1 HP. We're missing everything in the mid lane at the moment as the cameraman goes on an absolute wonder wild, and there's more kills here in the mid lane. Lucian trying to get enough burst damage. Another hook here onto the Jarvan this time around. One more auto attack. The Volibear comes on through as well with the untargetability on the turret. Not going to be able to do enough to survive, and in the end, it is a win for Vapo. They do get a lot of kills, especially on this Lucian.
They do get a lot of kills going over to the Lucian as well. Obviously, most gold onto their team also. But I think for both of these teams, the consolation prize within that early part of the team fight is the fact that both of their junglers fell down. Like, neither team could go for any of these neutral objectives. And I think that's kind of like the best scenario for Findog, considering they were on the worst end of that whole interaction. But right now, definitely look like they're going to get the Enchanted Ensemble, so they are going to get the pressure into potentially that mid lane, or might even put it up to the top side of the map here.
Trying to lock down the Zed here if they can do. Queenie, oh, he has the moves on the Zed. He's not going to be able to survive, though, because Kaiser's going to be here as well. But Lucian's actually going to try and trade a kill back here. Red buff might be enough burst damage. It is. Actually tried to smite the Rift Herald to try and get enough damage, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. But Lucian is getting so many kills in these fights. He's completely untouched. The tower goes down as well. Lucian can keep on diving on through here. Kill away the Kaiser. It's another kill for the side of Vapo. They get the first tower in the top lane. They get more kills onto this Lucian. This Lucian is currently 5-0, really far ahead, and that's all thanks to the lane priority and the lane assignments that Vapo got in this early game.
Yeah, definitely paying off here as well. I mean, 7 kills to 3 overall, 3k gold lead for now for Vapo as well. Pushing this T1 into the mid lane is going to be their next goal, obviously being aided by the Enchanted Ensemble being dropped down, which was really helpful for the side of Vapo. And it's just paying off, right? This is a little bit of a snowball effect that Findog really can't find an answer for, right? Like, yes, they get the hook here, but it's onto Susanoo, but is that who you really want to be picking off when you've got a Lucian on a 5-0-1 KDA?
No, it's still good. I think getting the one pick just gives them their time that they need to try and get a little bit more farm, get a little bit more scaling. They're actually trying to jump onto Lucian here as well. But this Lucian is starting to do a lot of damage and is also very difficult to take down at the same time. So Vi's not going to be able to do enough damage there, unfortunately. But any sort of hook that you can get at the moment is going to be, really, really strong to try and get it, get that advantage that they need. But for now, it's going to be the Zoe that's going to be, really far ahead in this game at the moment, as well as the Lucian. 7,700 gold on this Lucian. Has the Solari Charge Blade already completed? Missed another kill there. Looks like Zed was able to take a kill. Queenie got a kill somewhere. I don't know where actually on the map Queenie was able to get that kill, so I don't even know where he is. Looks like it was in the bot lane, so they actually used the Volley Bear ultimate again in the bot lane to get another kill, but it looks like it is going to be traded back though in this mid lane, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Jarvan going down again, unfortunately, but Zed is doing wonders with this Volley Bear in the side lane, making sure that you can get this assassin ahead.
Yeah, trying to get the assassin ahead. Yep, the Lucian, gotta be careful though. You don't want to get caught out here by the side. I mean, that is their big power force coming through. Nakamura almost had him dead to rights, but the damage onto the Blitzcrank. Is it gonna be enough for the side of Vapo to melt down Findog? It's not quite enough.
Yeah, not enough in the end, unfortunately. But again, these are the little advantages that Vapo are getting in this game. 4,000 gold lead at the moment. This is the first time that any team is even going to try and focus Dragon at this point, because no team has taken Dragon before this point. So we're definitely not going to be getting Dragon Soul at all in this game. We're just going to be getting probably 2 Dragons. You can see again, Blitzcrank always looking for the hook opportunities, but haven't been able to find it. But kind of rinse and repeat here for Findog when it comes to this Blitzcrank pick. In the early game in the series yesterday, it got pretty far ahead and it got a few really good picks. But it came to this mid game, really struggled to try and find ways for it to work. You see, trying to get a pick here into this top side, might be able to hook the Volley Bear, but the Volley Bear can just jump away. The Jarvan can jump away. The Zed can jump away. Even the Lucian can dash away as well. So this Blitzcrank pick in general is going to be really, really difficult to try and execute when it comes to this late game.
Yeah, exactly. But right now we are seeing a bit of a dive onto Sion here. He's going to chunk a lot of that damage, but the Volley Bear engage into the backline is going to be enough to get this takedown, but he does obviously have the second win from his passive. Is he going to be able to do any damage into the backline? He's able to force away a lot of the side of Vapo for now, but Tung Tung Sahur is into the thick of it, trying to get the kill onto the Kaiser. The Icanthian Rain. He's able to claim Zoe for now. Nakamura looking pretty low. It's Queenie and Tung Tung Sahur against the world for now, and they do get the takedown onto Tung Tung Sahur.
Actually, a win for Findog in the end, getting a bit of an advantage there. Queenie losing vision of the Lilia. You have to remember how quick this Lilia is. Big mistake there for Queenie, actually dying there. 30-second death timer as well means that FindDog can try and find some extra gold and try and find these towers to take down. And they have the comeback mechanic in play as well. But no, they're not going to overstay in this top side. They're just going to go back to base for now. But Queenie disrespecting the movement speed that this Lilia has when it comes to these team fights, when it comes to these small skirmishes. But as I mentioned, in general, a win team fight for FindDog here. Vapo not even been able to take that tier 2 tower in the top lane. And you can see that if they dive a little bit too far in these fights, then it means that they're going to get caught out by the likes of the Blitzcrank, the Lilia AoE damage, and the lockdown from the Vi.
Yeah, the lockdown for the Vi definitely kind of like paid off there towards the top side of the map. I mean, just using that first skill, right? Use charge in, just get the knock on to Lucian. I'm not too sure what Tung Tung Sahur was thinking. I mean, there's quite a bit of CC between, Queenie was thinking, when he was trying to go for that 2v1. Obviously, his skills were on cooldown. He wasn't able to quite get that range attack that we know that Zed can do as well. So definitely a little bit of an overstep there into top side, but still, overall, Vapo are ahead with the gold, with the kills, but for how long?
Looks like a dive was trying to come on through for the top lane. Looks like the Zeke's convergence was used for the Vi. Lilia does have to flash away here to safety. They're trying to catch out the Vi. This could be a really, really big pick. That's one kill. The Jarvan, really good flag and drag into the flash as well. But that's a 4-man sleep on the Lilia. Kai'Sa is still alive, but Queenie comes on through to get the execution on that Kai'Sa. Lilia is still alive though, on quite a lot of HP.
Oh.
She can make a big difference in these fights. Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto the Lilia isn't enough for the damage. Oh my god, the pedal star comes on through from the Zoe, but it isn't enough. And these fights are becoming really, really close. I mean, this Lilia is slowly scaling up and starting to become a big problem here for Vapo to try and lock down the movement speed, the burst damage that she can deal in these team fights. They need to find a way to shut her down.
They do need to find a way to shut him down as well. I mean, definitely Lilia's paying off in the terms for FindDog here. I feel like if they didn't have this pick, it would be much more difficult for them in this game number 4, because we're already seeing a clear dominant Vapo, right? Like, they definitely have the priority in the lanes this far, but for how long? I mean, they have the Baron Nashor up here as well. We've seen some teams over the past 2 weeks where they faltered at this neutral objective, where they try and go for it, try and bait it a little bit. They get the debuff, and then the team that didn't start the initiation gets a little bit of a free ride in terms of that team fight. So potentially this is that kind of turnaround could potentially be the thing that FindDog is looking for.
They are still behind at the moment in terms of gold, FindDog. 5,000 gold lead right now for Vapo. But again, we're getting to the point of the game where gold leads don't really mean too much, and neither does dragons, because we're not even at Dragon Soul at this point of the game. So these dragons don't really mean too much. I think Vapo right now would much rather take the blue buff away than a dragon, and that's exactly what they're going to take. But they're going to try and take this dragon for now. I believe we are a little bit too late to get the Dragon Soul potential in this game, but it's going to mean that Vapo are going to secure this next dragon and just farm up a little bit more until we get into the next team fight potential here. 3 items though are being completed, Blam, across the board. We're seeing the Zed, the Zoe, and the Lucian. The 3 big carries here for Vapo, all completing 3 items now. And this feels like the go signal at the moment for Vapo.
Oh, look at that damage!
God. Kai'Sa nearly got 1 shot.
Almost. That was something else. I mean, in terms of obviously defense, she doesn't have anything coming through for obviously AP damage. She has the plated steals, but the fact that she lived off that 1 Lilia bullet alone is crazy.
Yeah, some crazy damage here at the moment. Looks like Sion getting a little bit caught out here. Lucian actually just using the culling to do a little bit of damage. Actually focusing a lot onto the Sion into the top side of the map. Not too sure if that's a champion you want to focus down on. No Lucian culling, no Volley Bear ultimate as well. That's 2 big ultimates down here for Vapo. And it looks like FindDog wants to try and find the opportunity to try and dash in. But the 2-man knockoff from the Jarvan, the lockdown onto the Kai'Sa and the Vi in the end. And oh, Vi actually jumps straight back in. That's not where you want to be at that point during the game. And it looks like Vapo are going to try and close out the game. Potentially no. Looks like they're just going to go back towards the Baron at the moment. But the bait there from the Zoe, you can see she jumped in with her ultimate, and then Vi was like, okay, this is my time to lock down the Zoe. And then she was like, oh, crap, I'm in the middle of 5 enemies, and what am I supposed to do here? But Jarvan, the knock up there onto multiple members, and the lockdown again, really showing that this Jarvan pick has a lot of potential when you're against champions that have no ways to escape it. Lilia has no dash, Kai'Sa has no dash outside of her ultimate, but that's a big cooldown. Vi had to flash away. Sion and Blitzcrank both can't escape. So picking this Jarvan against multiple champions that have no dashes is such a power pick.
Yeah, great pick into this one. I mean, you can kind of see why that was being banned like throughout the majority of the series, right? Like, there definitely was some kind of like Undertale here. But speaking of that, there is an Undertale to this team fight right now. Getting caught out into the thick of it. It's going to be that Jarvan once more. Nagaruru into the backline as well. Gets taken down. That is going to be Lucian being taken down from Faker Apo as well. But is it going to be enough to stop this train on course into this inhibitor into the mid lane? Faker Apo trying to go back in, trying to deter the volley bear from that inhibitor. They do get the takedown here. Vapo finally getting an inhibitor to their name, but it's going to be the Zed back into the backline, takes down Blitzcrank. Sleepy time from Lilo gets Faker Apo down. It is only Imberly, and now it's only 1-4-1-4 alive. Sion against the world. Vapo still have 3 team members up and a lot of damage coming from Queenie, from Lilo, but they're going to go for the Nexus. They're not going to try and entertain this Sion for now. It's going to be the takedown, and Vapo are your 3rd places in the Rift Legends Showdown.
Coming all the way through the Rift Legends battle, all the way through into the showdown. Unfortunately, couldn't make it to the grand final, but securing 3rd place here for the CIS region and securing it against the Turkish as well. A very, very strong performance here from Vapo, again, showing some of these pocket picks that we were not expecting to see really in the series. To have a look and, doing a crazy one, to be fair, to see how well they could do with some of these picks. The Lucian in the end. Again, I feel like when it comes down to these, map positionings in the team fights, in the top side, in the bot lane was very, very important to get this Lucian ahead. When it came to the team fights, the executions were perfection. The Jarvan ulti in the end was really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see why they went for obviously the Jarvan and the volley bear kind of combo, right? I mean, Susanoo can go for a great engage into the early part of the team fight. If he gets rinsed out, it's not the worst thing, because then you have to kind of redirect onto the volley bear as well. Volley bear can